18 Eyewitness News at 6 starts now.
A powerful explosion has caused serious damage to Libya's foreign ministry building in the heart of Benghazi. Also, families of the victims of Fort Hood massacre say it was the worst terrorist attack since 9/11. And I'll have my latest forecast for Thursday, but first, in a rare primetime address Tuesday night, President Obama took his case for military action in Syria up to the American people. Thank you for joining us. I'm Dustin Kopp. Our top story at this hour, the president spoke of a possible diplomatic solution, but said the U.S. must be prepared to act if diplomacy fails. However, members of Congress and the American people still aren't ready to support a military strike. Efren Graham reports.
From the East Wing of the White House, President Obama addressed a skeptical nation.
My fellow Americans, tonight I want to talk to you about Syria, why it matters, and where we go from here.
On Tuesday, Syria agreed to a Russian-backed plan to hand over its chemical weapons stockpile to the international community. President Obama called the possibility of a diplomatic solution encouraging, but he said that if it fails, the U.S. military must take action.
It is beyond our means to right every wrong. But when, with modest effort and risk, we can stop children from being gassed to death, and thereby make our own children safer over the long run, I believe we should act.
Still, diplomacy may be the only way the president can avoid an embarrassing defeat in both the House and Senate, where more lawmakers oppose a strike on Syria than support it. Congressional leaders have already agreed there will be no vote this week.
To a person, every GI I meet, every parent I meet, not one of them wants to get involved in the civil war. And it's not that we don't have sympathy, we just don't see a military or an American objective here.
Nearly 2/3 of Americans are opposed to a military strike. The U.S. involvement in both Iraq and Afghanistan still fresh on their minds. President Obama insisted this time would be different.
I will not put American boots on the ground in Syria. This would be a targeted strike to achieve a clear objective.
Still, following the president's speech to the nation, both the public and lawmakers remained unconvinced.
I think President Obama presented his case, but he did not convince me.
We have no plan for victory. In fact, to my mind, the Obama administration is arguing for stalemate. And I just can't see committing my son or your son or my daughter or your daughter to a war when our goal is stalemate.
That was Efren Graham reporting. Reports Wednesday say that the Russian-backed plan might already be in trouble. Russia is rejecting the U.S. and French calls for a binding UN resolution calling for, quote, very severe consequences if Syria does not comply. Russia says it will not support any military action against Syria. Americans across the country are remembering the victims killed 12 years ago in the worst terrorist attack in U.S. history. Ceremonies took place at Ground Zero in New York, as well as the White House, Pentagon, and at the Flight 93 National Memorial in Shanksville. On the 12th anniversary of the attack, many Americans are volunteering their time to honor the memories of those who died. On the website 911day.org, thousands have pledged to do some type of good deed. Meanwhile, New York Police Commissioner Ray Kelly said the threat of terror in the Big Apple still exists.
Terrorism is as great, if not greater, today than it was before the World Trade Center was destroyed.
A candlelight memorial was also held at New York's Ground Zero Wednesday evening. The Arcadia Valley School District will be having a visit from the Megan Meyer Foundation this week. The district will host 3 presentations and a student breakout session on Thursday and Friday of this week. Counselor Pam McLaurin says this is a good way to keep students, staff, and parents informed.
We actually received some promotional information from the Megan Meyer Foundation, and as counselors in the district, we agreed that this would be something important to bring to our students, our staff, and our parents, and so we contacted them in return to try to schedule something with them and are very excited that we'll be hosting them later this week.
Thursday afternoon, there will be an assembly for the 3rd and 4th grade students. On Thursday evening at 6 p.m., there will be a presentation for all community parents in the elementary gym. Then on Friday morning at 8:30 8:30 a.m., the middle school and high school students will attend an assembly, followed by a breakout session for approximately 25 students that the Megan Meyer Foundation will train as leaders in implementing change in their school. The foundation will then present professional development to all district staff on Friday afternoon. Visit our website, KDKZ18.com, where we have a link to the Megan Meyer Foundation. Two of the men involved in the murder of Cape Girardeau tattoo artist Samuel Francis have more charges but put against them, this time for drugs. Melvin Scherer and Brent Boren were two men of 11 people who have been named in a federal indictment alleging drug distribution. Scherer and Boren have been charged with conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute 50 grams or more of meth between October 2010 and September 4th of this year. We have more on this story available at our website, KDKZ18.com. Temperatures across the area definitely on the warm side this evening. 89 degrees right now in St. Genevieve, 88 in Fredericktown, 88 in Piedmont, and 87 right now in LA10. Looking ahead throughout the evening hours, sun is setting a little bit earlier each night. 87 and mostly clear at 7 p.m. Partly sunny, or excuse me, partly cloudy rather. At 9 p.m., 82 degrees, and by midnight, temperature of 77. How high will that temperature go on your Thursday? I'll let you know coming up later in your Storm Tracker weather forecast.
You're watching 18 Eyewitness News with Brett Dawkins and Dustin Kopp. 18 Eyewitness News continues.
A powerful explosion has caused serious damage to Libya's foreign ministry building in the heart of Benghazi. This bombing comes on the one-year anniversary of the terrorist attack on the U.S. consulate in the Libyan city. Al-Qaeda terrorists stormed their post last September 11th, murdering the U.S. ambassador and 3 other Americans. In the days and weeks after that terrorist attack, the Obama administration insisted that is what was just street protest that went bad, even after the evidence showed otherwise. 1 year later, none of the terrorists have been arrested or held accountable. Serenity Hospice Care, the area's only freestanding nonprofit hospice, will be featured on a program called American Health Front on CBS on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Serenity was approached recently by the program's producer, who said they were doing a segment on hospice and asked Serenity to consider participating. Director of Public Relations Tammy Bracken explains what will be seen.
They interviewed our medical director, Dr. Ben Swink. They interviewed several of the frontline staff, and they took some footage of a nurse making a patient visit, of a bereavement session between a chaplain and one of our family members of a past patient, and also an interaction between one of our volunteers and some family members, just to give people an idea about who we are, Serenity Hospice Care, and what kinds of things that we do and what kind of services we provide to the community.
The Medical Media Group's debut of the program's first production was in June of 2002. American Health Front explains important advances in medical techniques and technology and introduces viewers to acknowledged specialists in their community with whom they can identify. It is now America's leading independent medical television news program, entertaining and educating viewers in markets all across America. The Federal Bureau of Investigations is asking for the public's help in tracking down a serial bank robber. The FBI has dubbed the man the I-55 Bandit. He is suspected of 10 robberies and attempts at 2 other banks since May, with some of the crimes occurring near Interstate 55 in Missouri. In each case, the man used a note and implied that he was armed, but no one was hurt. The FBI did not disclose the amount of money taken in the crimes. Robberies have occurred, like we said, in Missouri, Illinois, Maryland, West Virginia, and Tennessee. The suspect is believed to be in his 20s, tall and thin, with short brown or strawberry blonde hair. Anyone with information is asked to contact the FBI. The National Security Agency's surveillance machine grew too big and too fast for anyone to understand, according to a report by the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court. The newly declassified documents released by the FISC Tuesday revealed that even senior lawyers and officials weren't sure how the system worked. The NSA set the vast network of supercomputers, switches, and wiretaps in motion in 2006, and every day analysts snooped on America's phone records for more than they were allowed. In 2009, government lawyers told the federal judge there was no single person who had a complete technical understanding. It took nearly 3 years for government officials to figure out things that had gone wrong. And they're still trying to figure out why, following former NSA systems analyst Edward Snowden's release of American surveillance secrets to the world. Still, the Obama administration is fending off lawsuits and a push from Congress to rein in the surveillance. When we come back, families of the victims of the Fort Hood massacre say that it was the worst terrorist attack since 9/11. That story coming up. This is coverage you can count on.
Take control of your future by enrolling at the Unitech Career Center. Discover a new career with Unitech's nursing programs or the opportunities with Unitech's sheet metal fabricating program, or turn your hobby into a career with Unitech's power sports equipment program. From electrical trades to automotive technology programs, the first step to a well-paying future starts at the Unitech Career Center, Raider Road in Bonne Terre. For adult information, call 358-3011. For high school information, call 358-2271.
Welcome back. Major Nadel Hassan's attack at Fort Hood in 2009 was the worst mass shooting on a military base in U.S. history. But victims' families say it should be known as the worst terrorist attack since 9/11. George Thomas has more.
Army Major Nidal Hassan admits to opening fire at Fort Hood Army Base and killing 13 people.
I went in line to see the doctor, and then that was when the shooting happened.
Hassan says it was all in an effort to stop U.S. soldiers from going to Afghanistan and killing his fellow Muslims. But the attack was tried as a case of workplace violence and not as an act of terror. Now 150 victims and their families are suing the U.S. government. They say the designation of workplace violence robbed them of long-term benefits and made them ineligible to receive the Purple Heart, an award given to those wounded or killed in combat.
I have to think about my children, I have to think about my wife, and I have to think about where I'm going to be in 30 years. Whether I'm going to be able to work, whether I'm going to be able to walk. I have to think about these things.
Senator Susan Collins plans to introduce a bill next week that would ensure the families get the compensation they deserve.
For the administration to persist in treating this as if it were an act of workplace violence is an absolute outrage and disrespectful to the many victims.
Military experts say the government really had no option but to try the case as workplace violence. The crime happened on a military base, so it had to face a court-martial. It would have to have been transferred to civil courts for a terror charge to be possible. Even so, the American Center for Law and Justice is also joining the victims' fight. They've sent a letter to both President Obama and Secretary of Defense Chuck Hagel, demanding that the U.S. recognize the attack on Fort Hood for what it truly was, calling it, quote, an actual battlefield in the ongoing war against al-Qaeda. George Thomas, CBN News.
2 Colorado Democrats have been kicked out of office in a recall election over gun control laws. The 2 lawmakers had voted for limits on ammunition magazines and for expanded background checks on private gun sales. One of the now jobless Democrats was John Morrissey, the Colorado Senate president. The other was Senator Angela Giron, who lost in a largely blue-collar district that favors Democrats. The National Rifle Association said that the recall sent a clear message that lawmakers should protect gun rights and be accountable to their constituents, not to anti-gun billionaires. The remark was a swipe at New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg, who supported both of the ousted lawmakers. There was no political comeback for former Congressman Anthony Weiner or former Governor Eliot Spitzer Tuesday night in New York. In his attempt to run for mayor, Weiner got roughly 5% of the votes in the Democratic primary, leaving him in 5th place and out of the race. Spitzer, who was running for city comptroller, got 48% of the vote, losing to Scott Stringer, who got 52% of the vote. Both politicians said they wanted to run again to seek forgiveness from the voters they offended. They lost major support due to sexual scandals while in office. The House and Senate presented the Congressional Medal of Honor to the families of 4 girls killed in the 16th Street church bombing in Alabama 50 years ago. Carol Robertson, 14 years old, Addie Mays Collins, 14 years old, Cynthia Wesley, also 14, and Denise McNair, 11, were killed in an explosion of a bomb planted outside the church by white supremacists. The 1963 attack outraged the nation and helped spur passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Senator Mitch McConnell of Kentucky noted that while every stained glass window in the church was destroyed, one remained, a window pane depicting Christ leading a group of children. Past recipients of the medal included Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King Jr., and his wife, Cortetta Scott King. When we come back, I have your latest Storm Tracker weather forecast. We'll be right back.
On the road, off the road, or on the water, your ultimate outdoor toy store, Midwest Sports Center in Farmington, has what you're looking for. Street bikes, dirt bikes, ATVs, side-by-sides, jet skis. Midwest Sports Center has the largest selection and the absolute lowest prices. Get to Midwest Sports Center on Walker Drive, Farmington today to see for yourself. Midwest Sports Center, your ultimate outdoor toy store.
Ain't looking for nothing but a good time, and it don't get better than this.
Here is your Storm Tracker forecast.
And welcome back. A mostly sunny sky out there right now. A temperature of 89 degrees. Feels like 91 though. Current dew point 64 with 42% humidity and a southwest wind at 5 miles per hour. Throughout southeast Missouri, those temperatures definitely on the warm side in the upper 80s in most areas. Still feeling that warm air here in southeast Missouri. We're also seeing that warm air throughout the state of Missouri as well. Kansas City at 91, 89 in Columbia, 87 in Springfield, and 90 right now in St. Louis. Here's what our forecast looks like. We will be seeing cooler air moving in on your Thursday, at least after Thursday. A little bit cooler on Thursday and then Friday. Much, much cooler air, especially feeling like a fall-like weekend. We're also going to be seeing thunderstorms possible, mainly to our south. Here's what our forecast looks like in more detail. We have that cold front going to be pushing into the area overnight, tomorrow night, or throughout tonight and into tomorrow rather. We're going to be seeing that cooler air kind of move in. Temperatures will be in the upper 80s tomorrow, so it'll be a little bit cooler, but much, much cooler air will be here as well for your Friday. Rain off to the south and west, as well as south and east. There is a chance of some showers and thunderstorms popping up as this front pushes through overnight tonight into tomorrow. Here's what our forecast looks like. Mostly clear skies at 7 p.m., 87 degrees. Partly cloudy at 9 p.m., 82. By midnight, 77 degrees. Forecast for tonight. We do have that chance of a pop-up thunderstorm as that front pushes through. 67 to 70 for your overnight low. For tomorrow, there is another chance of some possibility of some isolated thunderstorms as that front continues to push through. As the front pushes through, the better chance down to our south. Temperature around 86 to 90. Let's take a look at the next couple of days here in southeast Missouri. We will be seeing a mostly sunny sky on your Friday, much cooler air, 79 degrees, 75 and sunny on your Saturday. Beautiful day to go out and about if you have any plans, but we still have more nice weather on the way for southeast Missouri. Pure fall-like weather for the rest of the 7-day forecast. Don't forget you can get the latest weather information on our website, kdkz18.com. Up next, what's the difference between praising your kids and flattering them? Dr. Bill Meyer explains in today's Focus on the Family.
I'm Stacy Johnson. Secured credit cards. Really, it's just plastic secured by paper. These things can also be misunderstood, though. Things you need to know about secured credit. It's just ahead on Money Talks News.
Get your latest Storm Tracker weather forecast daily on the radio. Froggy 96, 95.9 FM, and Kickin' Country 105, 104.9 FM. When you're recovering from a traumatic injury, the last thing you need is an unexpected bill. Because most health insurers pay only a part of air transport, Archair Medical has a solution, the Omni Advantage program. For a membership fee of $49 per year, Omni Advantage guarantees you and other covered family members will not have to pay anything that your health insurer doesn't provide. In an extraordinary emergency, the last thing you need to worry about is cost. Contact Archair Medical or visit them on the web to discover all the advantages of Omni Advantage.
Welcome back. Is it possible to praise your kids too much, or how about for the wrong reasons? Dr. Bill Meyer explores these puzzling questions in today's Focus on the Family.
I think it's a natural tendency for you to want to build up your kids, want to get them, off on the right foot.
All of us flatter our kids sometimes, and that's not such a bad thing. After all, the world can knock them down a lot, and it's nice to know that the folks at home think we're pretty special.
Try to tell a grandparent or a mother not to tell a little girl when she's all dressed up to go to a party, "Oh, you look so pretty. You're getting prettier every day." It's the natural thing to do.
Mark and Kat are parents of a high school lacrosse player and a grade school football player. Over the years, they discovered that while flattery has its place, praise is more essential to a child's self-concept.
If I have a behavior that the kids do, somebody is very responsible, comes home, empties their backpack, puts their lunch away, starts on their homework, I'm going to praise that. Wow, you took a lot of care tonight.
Their child will blossom because if they know that mom or dad thinks, "Boy, you really cleaned that room beautifully," they'll do it again. Because that feels good to have mom and dad feel that you did something well.
Flattery is different from praise. Flattery simply heaps empty compliments onto a child. Praise, on the other hand, is a genuine reward for something done well. It also reinforces positive behavior.
Catch them in the act of doing something well and make sure they know that that's something that they should be proud of. You should be proud that you held the door open for that woman. Those types of things are...
Or laid the quarterback out.
Or laid the quarterback out. That's really good praise. Like the way you hit that guy and hurt him. That's really good praise.
That hurts just thinking about it. When you praise your kids, be specific and be genuine. Those positive words can build your children into stronger individuals, providing them with the foundation they need to succeed in life. For Focus on the Family, I'm Dr. Bill Meyer.
For more valuable information on life's issues, relationships, and family, visit our website and click on the Focus on the Family link. A secured credit card can be a useful tool for consumers, but there are some misconceptions out there. Money expert Stacey Johnson helps us clear up secured credit card myths.
It's a vicious cycle. You need credit to get a credit card, but without a credit card, how are you supposed to build credit? Well, one solution is a secured credit card. If you can fog a mirror, you can pretty much get a secured credit card. That's because you have to put up some paper in the form of money to secure that plastic. For example, here's $500. You could put that up and get a $500 credit line. But as simple as these things are, people misunderstand them. For example, one myth about secured cards, they're only for bad credit. They do help people with bad credit rebuild, but they're also for people who want to control their spending or newbies to the credit scene, like students. Myth number 2, because you put up money, you don't need to pay. Well, no, you still need to pay these cards, including the interest. It functions just like any other credit card. Myth number 3, these cards only come from predatory lenders. That's not true. Most of the major banks in America offer secured credit cards. Now, they do have different interest rates and fees, though, which is why before you pick one, you go shopping. Myth 4, secured cards are the same as prepaid or debit cards. Truth is, they're not. Prepaid and debit cards won't build credit. Some secured cards will. Also, debits and prepaids don't offer the same legal protections. Myth number 5, this is the only card you'll ever carry. Not true. Prove you're responsible with secured, and offers for regular plastic won't be far behind. Bottom line, secured credit cards look and act just like any other credit card, and people use them for lots of different reasons. Now what you need is to know how to shop for those cards, and we can help you with that. Just go to moneytalksnews.com and do a search for credit cards. For Money Talks News, I'm Stacey Johnson. Want a higher rate on your savings or a lower rate on your loans? Get the free Money Talks newsletter. It only takes 7 seconds to sign up, and it's full of deals and news you'll really use. Do it now at moneytalksnews.com.
Battery problems. It happens every time you want to do something. You just want to mow the yard, right? You've got to make it to that big meeting on time, and your watch quits. You got to be somewhere, and your car won't start. Right in the middle of a conversation, and the battery conks out on your cell phone. For every kind of battery.
Welcome back. In today's Your Health, a concussion sends a child to the hospital every 5 minutes in this country, and the numbers often spike as fall sports get into full swing. Recovering from a concussion can take time and a team effort from parents, coaches, and teachers. And now there's a new way to make sure everyone is working together. Here's Clark Powell.
Are you excited about high school? As classes get underway this fall, 14-year-old Tyler Casto is hoping this year goes a little more smoothly than last year. A snowboarding accident left Tyler with a concussion and his mom in shock about what recovery would mean for her son.
I had no idea. I had no idea that he would miss so much, so many sports and so much of school. It was a month of schoolwork we had to make up.
Liz's reaction is not uncommon. In fact, many teachers are surprised that the effects of a concussion can linger for weeks. But it's here in the classroom that some feel a team approach to helping these kids can be most effective.
The doctors, the experts in the medical side of things, but the educators are the ones who can really take the reins on this and really help get the student through this really rough time.
To help them do that, Stevie Karzu and a team of concussion specialists at Nationwide Children's Hospital developed this, one of the first and most comprehensive concussion toolkits available. It not only has information for parents and coaches, but also for teachers and even school administrators.
We realize every school has different resources, so it helps assign roles to each of the members in this process and what their responsibilities are.
Teachers, for example, can help identify symptoms day to day. Counselors can help make accommodations for the students to help them cope. And administrators can communicate between families and school staff to chart a child's progress. After recovering from his symptoms, Tyler is back to normal. And his mom is grateful there is now a one-stop guide for dealing with kids and concussions.
I would love for our coaches to know, for our teachers to know, and people that have no idea.
At Nationwide Children's Hospital, this is Clark Powell reporting.
If your child suffers a concussion, be sure to let their school know immediately and monitor their symptoms closely. This comprehensive toolkit has already been sent to more than 1,000 schools. That is today's Your Health. We'll be right back. And that does it for 18 Eyewitness News. Stay connected with us by visiting our website, KDKZ18.com, and like us on Facebook. We'll see you next time.
When you see news happening in your area, let us know about it. You can call our news department at 573-701-9590 or email us at news@DawkinsBroadcastGroup.com.